welcome you back in the SRBPS online class. In our previous class, we had discussed about the properties of integers. In that, we had discussed closure property, commutative property and associative property. And in today's session, we are going to discuss the rest of the property, that is inverse property, identity property and the distributive property. What we are going to discuss? We are going to discuss identity property, inverse property and the distributive property. So, without wasting any time, let's move to the topic.
Today we are going to discuss about the distributive property, inverse property and the identity property. So let's start with the distributive property. In the distributive property, what we have to do, we have to distribute the member which is outside the bracket to each and every members which are inside the bracket. It means we have to distribute 2 to the first member, also to the first member and to the second member also. Okay, you can see here we had distributed to the first member and we had distributed 2 to the second member also. As in between plus sign is there, so you have to put plus sign here. Let us explain the distributive property with the help of numbers by taking the numbers. What is distributive property? As we had discussed that we have to distribute the member which is outside the bracket to each and every member which is inside the bracket. So depending upon that, we have two types of distributive property of multiplication. First one is distributive property of multiplication over addition and second one is distributive property of multiplication over subtraction. If in between the two members inside the bracket we are having negative sign, then that is called distributive property of multiplication over subtraction. If we are having the positive sign, then that is called the distributive property of multiplication over addition. Let us see with the help of example. Here 2 is outside the bracket and inside the bracket we are having 4 and 3. So we have to distribute 2 to 4 also and 2 to 3 also. So 2 into 4 is 8 minus 6, that is 2. So in both the condition we have RHS is equal to LHS, means both the value will be same. Now see the second case. In the second case we are having minus 2. We are having minus 2 outside the bracket. So we had distributed minus 2 to 4 and to the 3 also, because 4 and 3 are the members which is inside the bracket. And here we have to put positive sign, as in between 4 and 3 we are having plus sign. That's it about the distributive property. Next is identity property. In identity property, we are having two types of identity element. First one is additive and second one is multiplicative. So here in the figure, the example of additive identity is given. In additive identity, what we have to do, we want the same result as the given number. We want the result same as the given number. So what should be added to the given number to get the same number? What we will add? Of course 0. If we will add 0 to the given number, we will get the same result. Let us see this with the help of numbers. Here we had discussed about the additive identity. What is it? Now here is the example as I had discussed it. as I had discussed the meaning of additive identity. So here is the example. With the help of example, it will be more clearer to you. Suppose here 3 is given, which is the given number, and we want the same number. Identity means what? Identity means same. Identity means same. We want the same number. So what should be added? 0. We will add 0 to get the same number. Same in the second example, given number is -12. So what we have to add to -12 to get the sum as -12? Of course, we will add 0. So in case of addition, so in case of addition, 0 is the additive identity. Okay, and identity is always same, is always 0. Now we will discuss about the multiplicative identity. Multiplicative identity is that number which when multiplied to a given number we will get the same number as the product. Here is the example. 5 is the given number and we want the same result, means same number as the product. So we have to multiply 5 with 1. So in this case 1 is the multiplicative inverse. See the second example also. 23 is the given number and we want the product as 23. So we have to multiply 23 with 1 to get the same number. So always multiplicative inverse is equal to 1 in case of multiplication. At last we are going to discuss about the inverse property. What we are going to discuss? We are going to discuss about the inverse property. Same as the identity property, we have two types of inverse property. One is additive inverse and other is multiplicative inverse. So here we will see what is additive inverse with the help of figure. Suppose we are having a box and if we put some material inside the box, okay, and after some time we have removed all the material from the box. What we had done? We have removed all the materials from the box. So what will be the result? We are having no material. We don't have any material in the box. It means same in the additive inverse. What we have to do? We want the result sum as the 0. Here we are discussing about the additive inverse. What is it? Additive inverse is the number which when added to the given number it will give us the sum as 0. It means after adding the number and it inverse, we will get the result as 0. Now additive inverse is also known as, we can call additive inverse as negative of numbers also. We can call additive inverse as negative of numbers also. Why we are calling additive inverse as negative of numbers? Because when we will add the negative of the given number to the number, in that case only we will get the result 0. Let us see this with the help of example. Here the given number is what? 10. 10 is the given number and negative of 10 is minus 10. So here is the negative of number. So when you will add the given number to its negative, always we will get the result 0. So here the additive inverse of 10 is what? Minus 10. Now see the second example. In second example, minus 6 is the given number. So what is the negative of minus 6? We will have minus 6, and minus is plus. So additive inverse is 6. So when you will add the number and its additive inverse, we are getting again 0. So what we get to know, that additive inverse is the negative of the number. If we are having a number positive, then its additive inverse, in additive inverse what we have to do, we have to change the sign of the that number. If positive number is given, then its additive inverse will be negative of that number, and if negative number is given, then its additive inverse is positive of that number. Okay, so let us summarize the additive inverse and the multiplicative inverse. Let us recap it again. Now additive inverse means negative of the number, okay, and multiplicative inverse is the reciprocal of the number, okay. In additive inverse what we have to do, we have to only change the sign of the given number. If the given number sign is plus, then its additive inverse will be minus of that number. If the given number is sign is minus, then its additive inverse will be plus of the given number. And in case of multiplication, we have to reciprocal the numbers.